So we have to focus on trying to improve the resilience of people around the volcano. And one of the best ways to do that is through education. So this video, although it may seem alarmist, it's kind of trying to reproduce the worst case scenario, prepare for the worst, hope for the best sort of thing. So educating people on what the worst possible scenario is, I think is a fairly good measure to take in terms of trying to improve preparedness.
でさ、自然の力って大きいから脅かしといてくれるぐらいのがいいかなっていうのが今のところ。これでほら、別に私の周りの人はパニックになってませんし。
This is a really important operational evaluation of human health and performance that NASA is doing in preparation to land the first humans on Mars. In CHAPEA, we mimic what is the Mars surface habitat expected resource restrictions, so limited communication with Earth. The crew will have to deal with whatever comes their way. They'll have to problem solve when they're subjected to these conditions, and they'll have to do that with mission control on really just an extended remote support role, because they won't get information back for about 44 minutes later. So that crew will have to use incredible teamwork.
이번에 홀로그램을 도입하고 범죄율이 22% 정도 감소가 됐거든요. 특히 효과를 보인 건 어떤 주치로 인한 폭력이나 시비 같은 우발적 범죄들이었어요. 우발적 범죄의 특징이 순간적인 감정 폭발로 일어나다 보니 경찰관들이 사전에 개입하기 어렵다는, 예방이 어렵다는 문제들이 있거든요. 그래서 그런 부분에서 경찰이 항상 지켜보고 있다는 시각적 메시지가 경각심을 고취되는 데 효과가 있었던 것 같습니다.
일단은 일반 사람 같이 생겼고 밤에 봤을 때, 그리고 이 일반 사람 옆에 있다고 생각해 경찰관이 드니까 저는 안전하다고 더 느끼는 것 같고, 개인적으로는. 그리고 그 경찰관님께서 계속 저 벨에 대해서 상기시켜 주시니까 저는 더 생각이 날 것 같아요. 응급 상황에서도.
डैम को बनने से हम लोग तो कैसे खाएगा, इसलिए हम लोग बनने नहीं देगा। डैम बनने से तो सब माटी जाएगा। ये हम लोग तो ये माटी से बागान करता है, उस ये LIC बागान करता है, धान भी डालता है, ऐसे कटहल गाछ का ये भी काटता है, नाशपाती भी करता है, सब चीज़ करता है। उसी से हम लोग उसी का गाछ का निकालने वाला का सामान से हम लोग बिक्री करके पास्ता उस्ता को पड़ाता है, हम लोग उसी से खाता है, इसलिए डैम बनने नहीं देगा।
I said I'd go to the dump in the morning and ask them if I could go through the compost pile.
He said, let me try. I said, okay.
We have a whole range of other kind of isolated spikes stuck to each other. We have these kind of teardrop-shaped plates, and we don't really know where all of those go on the body. So in fact, it's difficult to see how there could be enough space on the body to have all of these different spikes. You know, in animals that are alive today, when we see sort of strange structures, often very large structures that don't have any obvious function, they're usually related to something to do with mating. So think, for example, like antlers on a deer or a peacock's tail. You know, these are structures that look like they would be a bit of a pain, really, to carry around, actually.
I got Louis my freshman year, so about 4 years ago now, in October, and it has been so beneficial to me having him with me on campus because he has boosted my mental health. All of my friends, they love to come over and say hello to him, and he's just a good friend to have on campus when you don't have a roommate.
Being a student is really stressful, and so whether that is having to worry about studying, having to worry about financing, getting your degree, so having an animal there can really be grounding for a lot of students.
Что больше всего понравилось?
Ползти на свиней, молодец! Мы пробежали, у нас все круто. Спасибо большое за... Я умерла. Все, что?
Сколько раз тебе говорила?
3 раза мы пробежали. То, как мы метали гранаты и стреляли из холостыми патронами.
even at the time of enjoyment, people are aware and still remember that someone is still struggling. So it was a nice thing to see this thing in such a small place in Spain.
The tap-and-go drone tagging approach is a new way of being able to put basically a small computer on the back of a whale, where we use FPV goggles and we use an expert drone pilot, and the tag is just gently tapped on the back of the whale, and then the drone goes.
And what the keratin does when we repurpose it, it acquires a molecular structure that is able to attract calcium phosphate from your own spit or saliva. Once it's with the keratin, it mineralizes in a way very similar to the native enamel. So what we do, we coat enamel with the keratin or infiltrate early decay lesions to be able to treat it. And what we found was fascinating. What we found that is the enamel has gone stronger, 5 to 6 times more than traditional plastic resins that has been used, as well as 200 times better than fluoride as a preventative measure.